Hello fellow cyborgs, and welcome to a Persephone book review. For my 25th birthday this year, on the eve of said birthday with, I don't know, half an hour to go, I was up, couldn't sleep, and I was perusing Persephone's website. Persephone Books is a lovely independent publisher based in London, and they specialize in reprinting forgotten works by mostly female authors of the 19th and 20th centuries. I have had my eye on them for quite a while. Persephone has been floating around BookTube. Everyone seems to really enjoy the idea of them, if not actually adore their works. And I don't know if you knew this, but they have a subscription service where you can sign up for 6 to 12 months, and once a month they send you a book of your choosing. I signed up for 6 months. So for the next 6 months, look out for once a month a Persephone book review, because I will diligently be keeping up with my purchases as I am so excited to be reading these, and you get to reap the benefits. And today you are going to be seeing my book review discussion of Lady Rose and Mrs. Memmary. Memory and time. We will never forget Scotland. Always in my heart. This is Persephone's 53rd publication, and it was written in 1937. The end papers were also created in 1937, and it is called The Masqueraders. This is by Ruby Ferguson, who was a Scotswoman herself, and the reason why I mention that is this is first and foremost a love story, and it is also a love story to the country of Scotland, which explains why I picked this as my first. I knew I would be getting back from Scotland and would still have Scotland in my veins, so I thought this would be a lovely place to start. It is a sweet and short little novel. It is only about 240 pages long. The story begins with 3 tourists from England stumbling upon Keepsfield, which is a Scottish manor out in the Highlands. They ask the caretaker if they can have a tour and have a look around, and with each successive room or area of the manor and its grounds, Mrs. Memmary tells them a bit about the young girl who grew up there, Lady Rose. The play on words with Mrs. Memmary, which one of the characters in the book at the end actually comments on with the word memory, is so fitting because Mrs. Memmary is the last remaining memory of the Keepsfield grounds. She lived there for many years, and it's as much a part of her as she is a part of it. Lady Rose's story is very sweet. It is very much a little vignette of what life was like in the Victorian era for noble ladies, as she's the heiress of Keepsfield since she has no brothers. It follows her from the age of 6 on her birthday, where you get to see her estranged sort of relationship with her parents, as in the Victorian era, the parents of noble children didn't see them very much. The governesses and nannies were the primary caregivers of the children. To Rose's 18th birthday and her being presented at court at the Palace of Holyrood House to Queen Victoria in her glorious gowns. It follows her through her marriage to a noble peersman, the birth of her children, and all the way to the present day of the book when she's approaching 80 and no longer at Keepsfield. As I said, this is a love story, so even though Lady Rose's first marriage is almost an arranged marriage of sorts, it's a normal Victorian marriage where she doesn't have that much love and tenderness for her husband, just wait. There is such a sweet payoff toward the end of this. Whilst I was reading it, I was really enjoying it, and I was thinking, yeah, this is a solid 3 stars. I'm really liking this. But when it got to the cuteness, I was so giggly. This book got 4 out of 5 stars from me, mostly because of that. I am very glad to have read this after my travels to Scotland, as the love of not only the Scottish Highlands, but of places within Edinburgh itself is made apparent by Lady Rose, and I was so stoked toward the end of the book when she was talking about seeing the castle and being on Princess Street and walking down to the Palace of Holyrood House, and I saw those things and I walked down that street. This was the end of my vacation, this book. Not me arriving back home, but finishing the last page of this. I really want to reread it. It's so sweet and charming, just a really feel-good story. The preface says that it's a bit sickly sweet at the beginning and it might take you a few tries to really get into it. I would agree. I didn't think about lemming it at all in the first few pages, but Lady Rose is an especially idyllic 6-year-old. The first chapter or two is a little gummy and sugary, but just persevere. After Rose turns 18, it doesn't take very long to get there, I promise. It is just enchanting. There is a huge twist at the end, which I was wishing would be so as I was reading it, and when it actually was so, I was stoked. It was such a wonderful way to tie this enchanting and charming little story up. So as you can tell, I am absolutely delighted at my first experience of Persephone books, the stories at least. I'm always delighted by the packaging they come in. Please leave me in the comments down below your top 3 wishlist Persephone titles if you have them. If not, I highly recommend you check out their website. They really stand for something I really want to get behind, and it's books. I don't mind spreading my love that way at all. Thank you for watching, and until next time, continue to be lovely.